Hi, so I did a video on the General Civilian Respirator not so long back, and I kind of thought to myself, I didn't really go into much detail on about the private purchase cases. So, like I said, I thought to myself, why not go into more detail about them and give you guys an idea of what kind of cases and containers were out there on the market. This is a small selection that I've put together of unique, or I would say at least unique cases, because there are hundreds out there of different cases. I'm going to kind of give you an example of what you might come across, but there are hundreds of various cases out there, all different shape, design, have their own uniqueness to them. So we'll look at them all individually, and we'll go into a bit more detail of them. We won't look at the contents of each container and case, because that will be the General Civilian Respirator. Today we're just focusing on the cases and containers themselves. So on the left we have a handbag, probably a lady's handbag, a circular private purchase canister, very unique shape. Your kind of standard gas mask written on the top, yellowy painted box with a leather strap. You do see them kicking around. Your more basic canister with loops for a carrying cord to be put on. A cloth cover, or well, it's canvas, or it might be cloth, but I think it might be canvas. Private purchase box cover, fake leather box cover, and a leather box with a leather strap going around it. So we'll start off with this one. We'll take a look at now. So we've got our first example. This one must have been for ladies because it's a handbag. You can see it's kind of like a woven cloth, kind of, I think, or maybe even kind of like a woven canvas. As you can see, then if you turn it to the back, you've got the strap with it too. On the front, I don't know how well you're going to see this. On the front, you've got a button, a grommet even, and you've got this loop. I'll have to take it off because you won't be able to see it. You've got that loop that hooks on the ball grommet. Then inside, you've got this very pretty, very nice lining on the inside. I don't know whether it's it's not silk, definitely not for wartime. I'm not too sure what it is. Yet again, it might just be some cheap cloth, but it's very nicely lined on the inside. Definitely wouldn't be silk. I think it could be cloth or rayon. Could be rayon, but I'm not too sure on that. But it is very nice inside. And as you can see, that looks a lot different, and I'd say it looks a lot nicer than carrying the plain old box around. So what we'll do is we'll look at what was next in line, the circular aluminium container. So the circular aluminium container painted in this khaki kind of colour, khaki or olive colour. It looks more olive on the video, but it's more of a khaki colour. It has a leather carrying strap, as you can see, which runs through 2 holes in the side. But what I have seen, only just seen, I don't know where it is. It is in the middle. I don't think you're gonna pick it up at all. If I zoom in, it's the other way around. Where's it gone? There. You're not gonna see it as well, but that is a maker's mark. Atlas Aluminium. Atlas Aluminium, that says British made. So it's got a company mark on there, a company stamp. And as you can see, it's kind of like a circular, and then I don't know, so it's a very weird shape. It's circular at the top and it's kind of like rectangular, almost kind of squared off at the bottom. A bit strange, that one. Haven't seen one like it, and that's my point, is lots and lots and lots of private purchase containers and examples as such. What we'll do is, I'm not going to do this in order actually, because I can't remember what order it was in. We'll look at some of the more standard ones as such. So you've got your kind of regular tin. You probably saw a similar example in my last video on the topic of the General Civilian Respirator. It's got the loops on top and on the side for a cord to be passed through, acting as a carrying string. As you can see, the cord is passed through both ends and then through the top. It's a very simple, cheap metal canister. But what's interesting about this one, and I said we're not going to go into the examples, but if I can get the lid off, it has some old newspaper inside. So on this one we've got some old World War II era newspaper clippings. That's obviously been put in there to kind of like protect the mask. And then we've got the guy's name, David E. Fleetwood, and all his other bits and pieces of information on that label. So I think that's pretty cool, having some newspaper clippings in there and the guy's name and address on the tin. And like I say, having these tins with names on, or boxes with names on, makes them a lot more unique and interesting, because sometimes you can I don't know, research about a person, or you know, it makes it more interesting having information on there instead of just a plain cardboard box. But yeah, just an interesting example, and that's what makes that one unique. So what we'll do is we'll look at the gas mask stamped tin. So this one we've got gas mask written on the top, gas mask, in this olivey yellowy colour, more of an olive colour, with a leather strap, very brittle condition. So it's all gone hard and brittle, and the buckle is rusted. That then passes through, if you can see it, 2 loops on either side each side, and it's good quality metal. And on the inside we have got, picking it open, very interesting texture on the bottom of the box, which I think is really interesting. It's almost like it looks like a fake crocodile skin, but it's not. It's cardboard lining on the bottom of the box. So I think that makes that unique and interesting. So we've got the kind of fake leather box with a buckle on the front, and the leather strap is just riveted onto the box itself. On the inside you've got, I don't know whether it's leather or fibre, this actual box, but it certainly doesn't feel leather, probably fake leather. But anyhow, you've got the inside of the box, and you've got the remainder of once was a label, which probably, no doubt, showed how to store the respirator in this particular box. It's not an issue example, but I would say it's most definitely a private purchase example. So that's that one. We've got a fake leather example, as you can see, fake leather with a canvas loop or strap that is attached to the back. I think it might have just been glued to the back of it. It doesn't look very securely attached. So we've got that on the back, spin it round, and inside we've got kind of a lighter cloth canvas even on the inside. It's kind of like fake leather, and on the inside you've got like a canvas. And this one belonged to City of Salisbury. Which is interesting. So that's that example. We've got this example, which is more of a canvas, not a fake leather. Has a rope, a canvas rope that has been knotted, and that is sewn on each side. And as you can see, it's nothing fancy, but it's well constructed. I'll give you that. I'll give it that. So that's that example. Basic, but it keeps your box dry. Now, that kind of concludes my video on private purchase cases and containers. There are hundreds of examples out there, so you might find one similar to this, to these, or you might find a completely different one. There are some rare ones out there. I did want to show one in particular, but I can't get to it unfortunately at the minute. And it's a metal container, and it's been painted with a white or more of a yellowish band going around it, and it's got a leather strap with it as well, and I thought that'd be interesting to show, but I haven't got it to hand at the minute. So there are my few examples of private purchase general civilian cases, and as a bonus I will throw in these civilian earplugs, ear defenders. I know they're not related, but I thought it'd be interesting to show. I've seen only 2 examples of these in the last 5 years of collecting, and I know 5 years, well, 4 years of collecting doesn't sound much, but I'm always constantly looking for new gas masks to add to my collection, and I've only ever seen 2 of these. They do come in quite salty condition. I'm not saying they're particularly rare, but you know, in 4 years of collecting, I've only seen 2 examples. I would definitely say they're very uncommon to find. They do come in this kind of salty condition when you get them. But if you manage to find a pair of them, or you have a pair, that's perfect. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. You've seen these examples, so now you kind of know a bit more about what you're looking for, or what examples there are out there. So if you stumble across an unusual example, then you know you could use this video as reference and know that it is a private purchase case. And no doubt, I'm sure that they made their own as well, civilians, and their own covers, because it is cheaper than buying one. But yeah, that is my video, and hopefully you've learned something on private purchase General Civilian Respirator cases. Next video I'll probably do on the General Service Respirator Mark 4, and then after that Mark 5. So nevertheless, thanks for watching. Hope it wasn't too long and boring, and hopefully you learned something.